was surprised now just being picked up in this game and makes so much sense.
All right, game 2, let's go. Grand finals. We will see if we're closer and closer to a BTK sweep, or if we still got Gen X's gas in the tank and they can give us just as an entertaining of a game. Cap, Dave, take her away.
That's right. We're here in game 2, BTK versus Generation X. I want to add one more thing about the Grok, Dave. I'll see if you agree with this. In Southeast Asia, I saw this Grok being picked up, but I think it was against a Ling as well. And it felt like Grok was one of the best roamers to just invade jungle and make that enemy jungler's life total hell. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Grok's early game is insane. Even with the damage nerf, his early game damage is still insane. If the skill 1 landed, you can see how he becomes so much larger. He walks up to a squishy character like Nicolette. Oh, speaking of that, the first team fight comes in.
Oh, Zane! I thought it was going to be an invasion into the jungle, be creating some issues for Zia. Instead, it's the opposite. Zane is the first one down as Grok was not able to get enough interference. And Turo couldn't help out earlier because of Nicolette and the poke that she got with that umbrella. So their mid laner was a little bit low.
Beautiful rotation there. Beautiful rotation from the Uranus. Putting BTK, and then look at the combo there. You know, this is why Nicolette is one of the best mage players in North America. He knows the timing when to go in. He goes in, dish out a quad control, dish out the damage. Uranus jump in, feel the damage a little bit more. Boom, chakalaka. We got a first blood onto Zane. So incredible play from Generation X.
Well done. And the lane that we haven't checked into just yet is the bottom lane where we've got the Alice versus the Lapu Lapu. How's that matchup go, Dave?
I would say it's a love tap, to be honest. Like, once they get level 4, nothing's going to happen. But top lane, though, Jones in a little bit of trouble. Chicken.
Oh, you heard us. He goes for the dive, but barely manages to survive, and now the regen is kicking in for those Radiant stacks, so he's going to be okay. Zia bouncing around on those walls, looking perhaps for an opportunity. He could still jump onto Zane if the rest of the team can follow up, but they decide, no, let's go ahead and deal with that turtle. And, of course, the Bloodthirsty Kings, we'll see whether or not they want to give this one up. It was part of their loss, right? Was BTK lost a little bit in the early game and ended up losing out on some of these turtle matchups. And the barrier going down. Shark just going in, sweeping through. Woo! Turtle is going to be grabbed just in time by Granger. Good pickup for Zane. It's now forward. Chicken is going to be able to get not only the top of Alice, but lands that dragon form on top of the Kakura to get the double.
Ooh, what a team fight from BTK. Just when you think they're behind it, come back into the game with that turtle. Granger, I mean, look at Zane's position. He was hiding in the bush, waiting for the turtle to get a little bit lower, let them do the damage, and then when the turtle was low enough, when they know they can execute, the synergy of BTK shows up. Right? Grok throw the wall to kind of put Ling away. He's like, oh my god, I'm under siege, so I have to jump onto the wall, and that's when Granger shows up with the burst damage and retribution to finish off the turtle. Once they secure the turtle, they dive in, they find kills. So great synergy from BTK, and then at this point, they have the control of the game. In the first blood, it was an accident, and also Churro, you can see that the Lilia proficiency, even when you have a Lilia, when you have a Grok, it's able to control the early game, but I'm surprised to see that right now Generation X did have the control in the early game. BTK got it back though. Still, good job for Generation X in the early game.
Chicken back and away, and good thing too, because there was a gank coming his way. Eunice something similar. We're just having sort of that trade-off of towers, but the Uranus isn't giving. He's trying to go for the dive to try and force forward Chicken to give up on this tower, and it looks like he didn't want to, but he's going to pay with his life, and the tower may still die anyway.
Yeah. And look at the Popo just tanking the tower shots, right? This is what happens when we have Popo and Kuba. You push tower really fast.
Nicolette. He doesn't have a way out of this one. He was blocked out by the wall, and I don't think he had the Umbrella Flea anyway, so it just meant there was nowhere to run to. And since Bloodthirsty Kings were kind of ahead in the tempo of the game, they're able to rotate into mid before Generation X, and the rest of them were ready.
Yeah. Nicolette wanted to defend the tower a little bit too much. I would say a smell of desperation there. Similar to Check and try to defend the top lane. Sometimes you gotta let it go. You know, we talk about this is like love. You gotta let it go sometimes to make it better, you know? So in that case, Nicolette should just let the tower go, right? Kind of do a little bit of damage, but he hang out to the tower, hold her ground, and look what happened, right? BTK still got her killed and do a lot of damage at the same time. Shark taking a beating right here, though.
Yeah, right in the middle of the river, not exactly where Grok wants to be. not having that extra defense. The turtle's getting low, and they're going to be able to push back. Look at Cardi. Diving in with Lapu Lapu. The Bravest Fire does manage to get that nice hit onto Not Losing Today, and it was really just like enough to be able to push Generation X to ensure the turtle would go the way of BTK, and Zane got it.
Yeah, typical BTK moves, right? They have few people zoning you away, but the purpose was just to scare. They were not committing. You can see Cardi. He goes in, do a little bit of damage, did a little bit of quad control, and he walks away. He didn't really commit to the kill. And that's something that BTK does all the time. They give Zane the room to do what he needed to do and allows him to farm. Because BTK the whole time, Zane's farming. If you can take a look at the total gold right now, the total farm or item chart, we can see Zane's farm. Even though he lost the first blood, I'm pretty sure he's doing really, really well. You can see Zane's farm 3,800 gold compared to a Ling who's 33, right? Somehow he's ahead at bottom lane. Shark find the kill number 1 though.
Yep, Roamer on Roamer. They do manage to get the kill on Not Losing Today, and Shark just casually walks away as they take the tier 2 as well. So BTK, they could be making a full sweep of the map here if they can just claim this mid tower that's still left. And another 45 seconds until we get another turtle for ourselves as well.
Yeah. Whew, this is already starting to snowball. We're coming to a 500 gold differentiation on average per minute. So, ooh, Cardi in the bottom lane. They try to capitalize on the Cardi.
Nice job there using Yeah, they were trying to use the mobility because they saw most of BTK up top, so they're like, okay, let's try and use this mobility of the Ling, but wasn't enough to be able to get the kill onto Lapu Lapu, and Generation X is still trying to actually hold this top lane despite the fact they had a pretty big rotation down to bottom. Fortunately, Regrets is able to frontline for them, but they may not be able to stop this Serpent steal, or maybe they can't. Poking in, Shark.
They got it.
It's kind of tanky, though. Hard to be able to bring down, and they do manage to get it.
You see, this is the area when Shark is the strongest on the Grok, right? Because you're next to the wall. There are a bunch of walls. Wherever he throws that skill 1, his immune quad control becomes this gigantic Grok. I would argue even bigger than the Dinosaur Barrage, and just goes in. True, though, have to pop the ultimate. And Purify.
Yeah, Black Shoe's gonna keep him alive, but it means there's not much left. And it's not good enough. They thought because the Black Shoes is used, they could go ahead and pounce on her. Not good enough. Nicolette does manage to jump back to that umbrella. Oh, the shot coming out was almost enough. But now the Hu Zhang does manage to get right in the middle of everybody here. Regrets trying to back out. Not Losing Today is going to be just chased out by Chicken as they get the Uranus as well. Chicken showing up with that Black Dragon in a really nice way.
Yes, I can feel BTK in their zone right now. Game one might win south in the early game, but now BTK is in the group. They know exactly what to do. I would say Zia actually had a little bit misplay. He jumped to the wrong dagger. That was a little bit sense of desperation there. He could have jumped to the forward dagger to get the kill first and then jump away because of refresh is skill 2. However, fear took over, you know. This is where BTK mentally and physically got the confidence they need to actually dominate the game. I'm assuming and I'm expecting this game from this point on going to be smooth sailing to BTK's favor. Zane's already at 4-1-3. If you can take a look at his items, I'm pretty sure that's Hunger Strike and Brute Force Breastplate against the Ling. If he finishes that Brute Force Breastplate, and indeed he has that item on top of it, Malefic Roar, at this point, Ling's not going to do much damage. He's 2,500 gold behind the Granger just on one character alone. Compared to Silence, you got Lapu Lapu with 62. You got Alice who's only sitting at 5,000. That's a huge gap on every single character, and every single character on BTK right now is a monstrous.
Yeah, BTK just keeps on poking. Regrets, forced to use concentration, purge up, and heal himself up. The rest of you saw like Nicolette had a little bit of problems with the wall that was laid out by Shark. Again, gonna be able to get a pretty good wall here. He's gonna go for it. Dive it on through and manage to get all of them grouped up with a dragon just cleans through. Granger on top of that as well. Yuna's gonna be the last one left here. Is the Yu Zhang is gonna go down. Zia survives, the only member of Generation X who does manage to survive. What a big hit. That was a sick play by Shark.
That's Shark for you. The hidden MVP for BTK, the backbone that engages. One thing I like about BTK has always been, because they're a tank place, their engages are so clean, and it all comes down to Shark. Look at Cardi going in on the damage.
Get that kill. The wall not able to block out Regrets, and BTK maybe have lingered a bit too long, so they decide to retreat for now. After all, the Lord is coming. They've already taken 2 of the tier 3s, those high ground towers, and if they get the Lord, there's a good chance they could just end out the game here. But they're not going to let Generation X come outside of their base. Black Dragon Fort being used here, trying to find some sort of opening. His forward chicken is just in deep right now, and he actually landed that Black Dragon right in front of that tier 3, and it didn't really matter. As Cardi, he tries to go in, unable to be controlled, lays out his damage anyway. He may die for it, but he puts out a serious threat, and that is enough for Chicken and Zane to get the follow-up. He just sacrifices his life and says, I'm gonna get damage done so you boys can end the game, and that's what we're gonna do. Zia unable to hold out, and game 2 dominated by the Bloodthirsty Kings.
See it, Generation X come back with 1 point. Most likely not, but we shall find out. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. A1-6 on Granger.
Dave, there's plenty of room for Generation X to come back. This was not the game for them. A much starker difference than what we saw from game 1, my friends. 10 minutes instead of the longest game that we've seen throughout the qualifiers. But we still have 1 game left. That was definitely in BTK's corner, feeling quite confident, feeling quite